This is the DTV Digest, the podcast that brings you news and reviews of films which didn't make it to the cinema. And now, here's your host, Mike Parkin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DTV Digest. I'm your host, Mike Parkin, and joining me this evening are Stephen Lockeridge.
Hello.
Amanda Robertson.
Hi.
Richard Halls.
Hello.
And returning for a second go is Nathan Lunn.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. We're recording this on a Sunday evening. I think we've got, 4 days to go? So
Yeah.
everyone starting to feel the Christmas spirit.
My wallet certainly is.
Yeah,
I know the feeling. Yeah. Awesome. Right. Okay. So, as what usually happens at this time of year, there is a certain phenomena within the DTV market in that no new titles tend to get released in the month of December. Instead, the market is flooded with box sets and reruns, TV series, all of that sort of gumph. And we got to wait until January before things pick up for us. So in the meantime, we're going to be looking at two films which recently popped up on Netflix. First up is the third Knives Out film called Wake Up Dead Man. And then we have Troll 2, the sequel to last year's, was it last year? I think it was last year.
22.
Pretty decent Norwegian kaiju effort. So our short shot is a film called Nightfall. And we're also going to do a roundup of our favourite films of the year to finish off with. So, without further ado, let's crack on. Our first film then is Wake Up Dead Man. This is the third of the Knives Out films. So I'm getting the synopsis for this from Letterboxd because IMDb has been most helpful with its synopsis for this. IMDb says, Benoit Blanc returns for his most dangerous case yet. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
I can give you the Netflix description.
No, it's all right. I've got
You've got one. You've got one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here goes. When young priest Judd is sent to assist charismatic firebrand Monsignor Jefferson Wicks, it's clear that all is not well in the pews. After a sudden and seemingly impossible murder rocks the town, the lack of an obvious suspect prompts local police chief Geraldine Scott to join forces with renowned detective Benoit Blanc to unravel a mystery that defies all logic. Okay, I'm going to throw this one straight over to Amanda because I believe you were the first one to get to see this out of us because was it part of the London Film Festival?
Oh yeah, they had a screening of it at London. Well, I saw it in Glasgow, but and I think Glasgow showed it as well. But I was probably one of very few people that got to see it in a cinema. I don't know how many
in this country at least. Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was just as good as the first. It does that nice thing the first did, is like it balanced it over the top and silly really well with the more kind of serious parts.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way that it explored faith and how it affects people. Like it's not totally against it. Like if you see that scene with Judd, he's speaking to the woman on the phone and he's speaking about, I think it's her brother.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But then it's not like totally ignorant to the other side of that. Like, you know how Blanc feels about it. Well, considering he's gay, he obviously has totally different feelings about it, and then you've obviously got the other parishioners and things like that. But no, I think it does match up to the first really well.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. It's interesting because I think it's the second film is the one which basically emphasised the fact that Benoit's gay, doesn't it? Because it's not mentioned at all in the first one. Mentioned in the second one. So yeah, you can see that would be something which informs his opinion of the Catholicism, for example. Organised religions, which aren't too favourable of same-sex marriage and all the rest of it. But yeah, no, this was quite amusing. The cast again is amazing. For this, it's interesting. I seem to have been watching a lot of Josh Brolin recently. You know,
Yeah.
keeps
Connor
coming up and
too.
stuff. Yeah. I like the bit where he's having to hear his confession, and he's just going into all these lurid details about masturbation and stuff, and eventually he sort of goes, "You've been on these pills. You haven't been able to masturbate for at least 5 years. So stop it." That was quite funny. And the mystery itself was really, really well done. I had me guessing for quite a long period of time. I have to say, it was very enjoyable. Rich, over to you. What do you make of Wake Up Dead Man?
Yeah, this is only the second one I've seen because I've watched part of the first one, but I wasn't really getting into it, and I've never gone back to it. So, but I did see Glass Onion at the cinema, and I thought that was really, really good. And this one, they've changed the tone completely again. I mean, that one was, it was like vibrant, colors and sunshine, and this is more like a Midsummer Murders kind of thing. It's like or an old Miss Marple or something, but because it was actually shot, or at least the exteriors, it's Essex basically. It's a church in Essex, but and it was all shot in the UK. All the sets were at
Pinewood or somewhere.
I don't think it was Pinewood. I think it was Leavesden or something. But yeah, it was all shot in the UK. But it is, and so when I'm watching it, I was like, oh, it's supposed to actually be set in the United States. It's just they've got, because what I read about was that they were trying to find a church that was what they were looking for, which was old but not too old, because it's supposed to be in America. so it can't be like extremely old. And yeah, we've got people like Josh O'Connor in it and stuff. I thought Josh O'Connor was great in this. I've previously watched him in the Netflix's Crown series where he plays Prince Charles, and I know he's done a whole bunch of other stuff recently. He's getting around quite a bit, but he's the main character in this story. Benoit Blanc comes in
40 minutes in.
Yeah, and then even then it's much more leaning on Josh O'Connor's character. And the ensemble around and that. I thought it was really good. Whenever I see Benoit Blanc, though, I just keep thinking or thinking about the name. I think of Guy Dupont, which is Johnny Depp's character in Kevin Smith's movies. He's turned up with a couple of those. But I quite like the Benoit Blanc character, and like Amanda was saying, the balance where it's going between sort of being quite serious and being quite comical, and that's kind of a thing that a lot of even something like Midsummer Murders, it tries to walk, a lot of stuff tries to do that tightrope walk of, being sort of light, but also a bit serious. I think the closest I can think of this to, which was in terms of the mystery and that, and made me think of, was Jonathan Creek, the old Alan Davies show.
That is a good comparison.
Because they used to do mystery, they did the locked room kind of mystery and stuff. Yeah, so I thought the cast was really good. Jeremy Renner's not in it massively, but I quite enjoyed seeing him. Josh Brolin was really good. We got Glenn Close, which is great, and Mila Kunis, and yeah, there's a little bit of a James Bond reunion because you've got Jeffrey Wright, as one of the senior clergy for the Catholic Church. We've got Thomas Hayden Church, who you don't see. I haven't seen him much recently, but yeah, so a really good cast, really interesting. So got a very James Faulkner's in there as well. In the it's got a very distinctive feel. Ryan Johnson, however we pronounce his name. He's managed to create three very different films in the Poirot movies, like for example the Kenneth Branagh ones. They all feel very much the same, even though they're set in different geographical locations. Stuff. These ones feel very different. They've got completely different sort of stylistic tones and stuff, which I think is, for them to all be successful in what they're trying, probably they're outdoing the Poirot movies, aren't they? So they're being even more successful. And the fact that this is, it's weird that you get like Netflix funding this as like essentially. A little quick bow in the cinemas, but basically it's a direct-to-TV project, but it still feels very theatrical. And and then you've got other stuff that's actually in the cinemas that isn't as good.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah. Steve, what do you make of it?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think it's the best one of the three. I like the second one. I thought was a little bit too over the top, a little bit garish, and a little bit too camp and a bit silly. This one, I think, gets the tone really right. It's more like a gothic mystery, really, and there is humour there, but I just think it's tonally, it's not silly. I think Glass Onion was too silly for me, and even the first one as well. The family were a bit too OTT and over the top. This one, I think they're all a bit toned back. Performances are great, really well shot. Andrew Scott as well, I thought was absolutely hilarious. He's great. I don't think I've ever seen him bad in anything.
But he's another one from the James Bond films, isn't he?
Yeah, true. Yeah, he's Inspector. Isn't
he? Spectre, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot about that. Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought it was really well done. I mean, the mystery itself, I thought is really well done. And he just Ryan Johnson just really, it could be like a modern day Agatha Christie. I think, the way he writes it and the way he works, works it out and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought it was really good. And
That
also,
was interesting because I was wondering if this was based on a series of novels or something, but it is an original project, is it?
Yeah,
I think they're missing a trick releasing actually novels of them, like do some
that may come.
novelizations.
Yeah, that may come in the future. Yeah,
I think they should definitely do something like novelizations or spin-offs or something to develop the character, and because I think people will, because there's so much of a market there. Even now they're writing new Miss Marple or Poirot books, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you could do young Benoit Blanc series, all the rest of it. Like they did with which one was it they did? It was called Endeavour. Who was that? Was that Morse?
Morse, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go. All right. Last but not least, Nathan, how did you get on with Wake Up Dead Man?
Yes, yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I have quite a close relationship with the first Knives Out film, in that I really like it a lot, and so I've kind of tried to support Ryan Johnson's releases whenever I can by watching them in the cinema. Glass Onion a couple of years ago, and then we got the chance to see this. And I'd agree with what Richard was saying. Really, in terms of the main takeaway for me is just how cinematic it felt. I think what the best thing about it is really for me in terms of the whole series is that Ryan Johnson kind of is putting in effort to kind of develop his craft and also sort of trying new things, which is quite rare in a way, maybe unfortunately so. But I just, in terms of how serialized the detective genre is, it would have been so easy for him to kind of just, comfortably create these kind of, large cast ensemble mysteries, and I think it's really great, to be honest, that he's kind of jumping out and trying sort of new tones and trying new locations and new forms of mystery. And I think in terms of Wake Up Dead Man, it sort of was missing that same sort of solvable mystery in a way. I think you can kind of maybe sit and try and work out the killer of the first Knives Out film, or maybe who's behind what in the second one. But I think in this one it was more sort of felt as though we're kind of along for the ride as it was sort of being revealed to us, and I was kind of okay with that because I thought it was really, really engaging. Much like you guys have said, I think really fantastic performance by Josh O'Connor. One of the best things for me with actors is versatility, and I think that just the difference between that performance and Prince Charles and even someone like Patrick Zweig in Challengers last year is it's shocking. It's very impressive, and I'm always going to be interested to see what the next thing is. But I thought I was really quite impressed coming away from this, and every year we try and sort of pick the best film for Christmas Eve to watch with my family. And this is the one we're doing this year, so that's the best praise I can give it, I think.
Ryan Johnson's got very much a connection with, these sort of mystery detective kind of stories, going back to his first film, Brick, And more recently, even like that detective show. Is it a
Oh, yes,
detective show?
Poker
Face?
Poker Face.
Poker Face.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like he's clearly, he knows the genre like inside and out, and he keeps trying to put different spins on it in his own way, and he's just successful every single time. it's just quite impressive, really.
I mean, and this one sort of had a meta awareness, didn't it? Because there was references to the plots of the other books, which he's maybe drawn from, which is sort of a nice little place to sort of point you to more reading, I guess, if you enjoyed this kind of.
I was wondering whether that book that they particularly point out, whether that is a real. I'm sure it is, but I was wondering if, when I was watching it, I was thinking, is that like a creation for the film, or is it a real book? I've got a feeling it's probably a real book. I haven't had a chance to look it up.
Wasn't it an Agatha Christie or something?
No, it wasn't.
No.
It was a different writer, but
okay.
Yeah, I need to look it up because that could be quite interesting to read. I don't know if you got. Do I remember correctly that he like threw in a little Star Wars joke?
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah, I think he's earned it probably with the fan base there, but it's no, it's self-aware. There's there's Netflix jokes as well, and I think oddly Jeremy I don't know if anyone remembers Jeremy Renner was mentioned, the actor in the previous film, wondering if he was going to address that at all, but
was it Jamie Renner's hot sauce or something?
That's right. Yeah. He had his own unique batch. No, really fantastic. Really fantastic.
And the other thing is, he does it over 2.5 hours. When you look at when you look at it on the listing and you think the running time, you think, it's going to be 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But you're like you say, Nathan, you're completely engaged the whole way through, aren't you?
No, definitely. I think
it's interesting because when I first watched Knives Out, I only got as far as about 40 minutes in, when she's like covering her tracks.
That's where I finished. That's where I stopped.
And I thought, how the hell has this got another hour? We know who did it, and what are we just going to spend the next hour watching her try and avoid people finding out that she did it? I just couldn't understand it. And then somebody told me to, said, no, give it another go. So I sat down with G to watch it, and yeah, absolutely loved it. But it is a weird format to begin with, for sure. But this is great. Yeah, absolutely. Love this. I'm a big fan of sort of period mysteries, and the idea of like the locked room mystery and things like that. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, the way this was set up was great. Totally guessing. I kind of guessed a little bit of the ending, but not the actual ending, because there's a certain thing that happens in the morgue, and I was thinking, well, if what I'm saying is right, then how the hell did that happen in the morgue? But anyway, never mind.
I think I guessed kind of who I thought who was responsible, but I had no idea how. So that was sort of the driving force on that. So, but yeah, I like a good detective story, and this was a really good one.
It was very much. Right then, scores on the doors, guys. Let's go with Nathan.
Yes, it's going to be a 9 from me. Probably, maybe it'll shift up a little bit higher when I watch it again, I imagine.
Okay. Steve?
It's 9 from me.
Amanda?
Yeah, 7, 8.
And Rich?
I'm going to go an 8.
I'm going to join you on an 8, but even so, this is probably the highest scoring film of the year that we've done. So good on you. Wake Up Dead Man. So that's, if I remember the count, that's 3 9s and 2 8s for Wake Up Dead Man on Netflix. Some cinemas. Go check it out. Our next film is Troll 2. Nora, Andreas, and Captain Chris leap back into action when a dangerous new troll awakes, and this time they'll need more help to take it down. Did you guys watch the first Troll movie?
No.
Netflix told me that I did watch it, but I don't remember it.
I thought I had, but I think it was Troll Hunter.
All right, yeah, that's the found footage one.
Yeah.
So both Troll and Troll 2, directed by the same guy, Roy Uthaug. He directed the Cold Prey films, which I absolutely adore. He also did the Quake and I want to say Flood, but it's not. It's something else. The Wave, that was it. Two disaster movies, basically, set in Norway. Both very good. Also a film called Escape, which was sort of set in Viking era time. Also very good. A very good director. And here he's basically given us a Norse Kaiju movie, as with the first one, relying heavily on Norse folklore about trolls, and using some pretty nifty CGI special effects. I think it does a good job of presenting these creatures. It is a bit weird because they are so human-like. When you're used to things like Gamera or Godzilla or Mothra, seeing a very hairy man sort of just strolling through, kicking over buildings is a bit strange, but I did enjoy both of these for sure. Steve, what do you make of Troll 2?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Couple of criticisms. I mean, you've got the Chekhov's gun or Chekhov's death, which is signposted straight away. And the only other thing as well is when they pull out the other troll, like the good troll, the fights aren't exactly. They're very quick. There's not much happening in them. You know what I mean? I think that's the probably budgetary constraints. To be fair, I just thought and hope that they would have gone on for a bit longer, been a bit more oomph to them, if you know what I mean.
Well, I'm sure in the third one, when Legendary Films gets hold of the series and then starts giving them sort of giant gloves to wear and things so they can hit each other. I'm sure, or whatever the shit that was going on. But anyway,
but yeah, apart from that, I thought the effects were really good. I thought the effects were great, and I like how it did tap into the Norse, the mythology of it all. Rather than it just being, they found him and woke him up or something. There's backstory and depth to it as well, which I thought added to the story real well.
Mm-hmm. There's a weird bit at the beginning where the guy turns up to see Nora and convince her to come back, and he's going, I need you to help you solve a puzzle. And it's like they never get round to telling her what the puzzle is. It's like, because she sort of steps in and does stuff anyway, but whatever reason they brought her there gets like pushed to the side completely, as I've forgotten about. But anyway, Amanda, what do you make of Troll 2?
I quite liked it. It was fun, looked nice, very silly. Again, I don't remember the first, so I don't know. Are these people in it?
Yeah, the cast is they are carried over mostly. Yeah.
I noticed there was a little thing with these kind of very Christian leaders coming in and imposing like their beliefs and wanting to wipe out the trolls. So I was wondering if it was maybe kind of commenting on that a wee bit, but no, I had a good time. No idea who anyone was, but I still had a good time.
Yeah, that's the trouble. If you hadn't seen the first one or forgotten about the first one, as most people do, because it's it went straight to Netflix. You probably watched it once, and then other stuff came along, But it is sort of pretty decent. The only real thing is for me is the ambiguity as to what the threat actually is. It's like it's big and it knocks over buildings, so we have to kill it. It's basically what it boils down to. It's like, come on, maybe come up with a better solution than that. So you're kind of not really rooting for the humans that much. That was my take on it. But there you go. Nathan, Nathan, of course you saw Troll 2, I'm sure.
Yes. Well, I panicked a bit when I first read your email because I thought you might be referring to the Claudio Fragasso film. I don't know if
Oh
anyone's
God,
seen
yeah.
famously the best worst
Oh
movie.
my god!
Yeah.
But no, interestingly, I hadn't quite got round to fully watching through the first Troll, and I might have shot myself in the foot a little bit by watching them sort of back to back, one day to the next. I might offer a little bit more of a critical take, but
Yeah, of course.
I did enjoy my time. I think my problem with Troll 2 was that it was quite similar to Troll 1. And I think the fundamental issue really for me was that as you mentioned, Stephen, they didn't fight. I don't. I was sort of just waiting the whole time for them, and I went back and counted it. The good troll, as it were, threw one punch that connected the entire film, and I suppose I was misled a little bit by the poster, but I was expecting more of a battle between them, especially given as I mentioned how sort of the first film is kind of focused on that method of defeating the troll. And I definitely did enjoy, as you mentioned, Mike, and Stephen as well, that sense of the mythology being twisted in, and I think that offered some really interesting methods of defeat. I certainly prefer when it's not just sort of an overwhelming military force, but you have that kind of creativity to it, and that sort of Indiana Jones-esque exploration for the Saint Olaf's corpse as well was I enjoyed all of that. But I definitely was just expecting more of a a fist fight, I suppose. So I was a little bit disappointed on that regard, and I'd agree as well, Mike, with what you're saying. With that sense of ambiguity was very confusing to me because they really don't offer any reason for why the bad troll is bad. The first film is very much focused on this idea of maybe human guilt, this idea that we're causing these issues, and the trolls are kind of these empathetic, or I suppose sympathetic creatures, right, that you're supposed to kind of care for. And then the second film, the troll is bad because he has a longer beard, I suppose.
Yeah, that was the only difference between
That
the
was the
two,
only
wasn't it?
difference. Yeah, he didn't seem to engage in much more. In fact, if anything, I'm pretty certain he engaged in less property damage. And simultaneously, I suppose, as a result, the government sort of through line, they were kind of just ignored as well. And I just felt I was sort of expecting a little bit more for the sequel, where it kind of felt it was retreading maybe similarly large shaped footprints, perhaps.
I mean, talk about retreading. I mean, there's that sort of reused joke, isn't there, of the couple, the older couple
old
building the
person's
house in the middle of the valley, getting destroyed in the first one.
Well, in the
And
first one, that you're supposed to feel very empathetic towards them as well, and
yeah,
then in the second one, it's played for comedy, and I was like,
yeah,
well, I don't know, I felt sorry for them to begin with. So,
yeah.
no,
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
it was good. I mean, it was entertaining enough. I enjoyed my time with it. But I'd be lying if I said didn't feel a little bit misled as to what I
See,
should.
well, funny enough, I mean, I never saw the poster for this, so
Mhm.
I can say I wasn't misled, but I didn't even know there was going to be more than one troll. But I was disappointed with the scraps, especially since the good troll basically just kept getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
He wasn't much of a threat to the other guy at all. But I will give it credit for there's a bit at the end, so when they finally decide to get rid of it, and it's one of these sort of Hail Mary sort of situations. But it's the phone call that the guy makes with the line of the needs of the many, and his wife knowing exactly what he meant, and what was
Yeah, but you see,
that bit I thought was brilliant. It was just really really well done.
that bit in itself, yeah, I thought was great, but it was just signposted all the way. As soon as
Oh
you
yeah.
met him, and that's what annoyed me. So I thought, oh, maybe they're not going to do what you think they're going to do, but no, they just did it,
Yeah.
and it was like, come on, just
Yeah.
so
Be a bit
obvious.
more. Can you be more obvious? Yeah.
Yeah,
I suppose
But
in the end, the troll got beat by What we all get beat by eventually, which is severe heartburn in a way. Needed some Gaviscon
Oh,
perhaps to pass by.
never mind. Okay. Scores on the doors. Steve.
I'll give it a 7.
Yeah. And Nathan.
Gonna give that a 5.
A 5. Okay. Amanda.
I'd probably say a 6.
Okay, well, I'm joining Steve on a 7. So 2 7s, a 5, and a 6 for Troll 2. Wake Up Dead Man, this is currently on Netflix. If you've got nothing else to do on the Christmas Day or Boxing Day, go check it out. Our short shot this week is Nightfall. When a broken family reunites at a remote outpost, an innocent visit becomes a night of primal terror. As darkness falls across the wilds, something ancient awakens, and the arrival of Vasquez unearths buried secrets that force Callum and Devin into a desperate race to save their daughter from the world's deadliest dinosaurs. Okay, so this is actually the second film in this sort of series of Jurassic World kind of knockoffs. The first one was called The Hatchling, and we covered it a couple of years ago, and it is a very good short. If you haven't seen it, there's a link on the YouTube page for this one. I thought this was pretty decent. They come up with a decent dinosaur, which hasn't been used in any of the Jurassic World films, but still quite deadly. I like the the idea of it mimicking people. I thought that was done really, really well. Yeah, no, this worked for me quite well. Amanda, what did you make of what are they called? Nightfall. What did you make of Nightfall?
I quite liked it. It bounced from like this very fun Spielbergian family adventure to horror quite quickly. But looked nice. The dinosaur looked great. And I enjoyed the way the filming it. I don't know if they filmed it like day for night or whatever, but it looked really good. Like you didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
And it did quite a good job of maybe covering up any issues they had with the dinosaur. But no, I liked it. They did a really good job of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best work I've seen. I think one of the things that kept putting me off, not putting me off, but one of the guys looked just like Chris Pratt.
He does, doesn't he? He really does. I was wondering if that was on
my
purpose.
girlfriend walked past and said exactly that as I was watching it.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like Chris Pratt. I was like, well, you wouldn't believe what's coming up next.
But yeah, it's all right. I mean, I thought the dinosaur design was quite unique, and I know it sounds daft, but it kind of reminded me of Coyotes, the other week.
Oh yeah.
With the ending, if you know what I mean. I don't want to spoil Coyotes or anything like that, but why they were pissed off.
Yeah.
That I thought, yeah, okay, that's quite good. And then you got the daughter in peril of the asthma attack and stuff like that, and it all added up quite nicely, but just a little bit underwhelmed, and I don't know why. I think it was the scripting just didn't do it for me fully, but it looked good.
Yeah, they did a great job of building up to the dinosaurs, using shadows and things like that, so you think, oh my god, it's you can tell from the shadow that it's under the car, that sort of thing. It was done really, really well. Rich, over to you.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought they had a good marketing campaign when they were sort of leading up to the release of the film. Great poster, great shorts and stuff, and little teasers. The film itself was it delivered on everything I think that they were promising, which was a dinosaur sort of horror story, but it's a link to this sort of very sort of Spielberg influenced, but more leaning into sort of the horror side of stuff that he's done. Whereas the first film, The Hatchling, had been very much a sort of Amblin adventure kind of.
Yeah, it's a teen adventure, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah. And so they're in sort of loosely connected films. It's called the Pine Ridge Anthology. That's what they've termed it. And I'm interested to see what they do next in terms of trying to do something else that moves into again another sort of tonal sort of shift and different kind of a story, but still stay in the same world. I mean, we've had like the Jurassic World and Jurassic World Rebirth and all that sort of stuff where it was, always, well, ever since Jurassic Park, it was like, what it'd be like if the dinosaurs were in our world, not just on an island or something. And they always flirted with the dinosaurs in the real world, and that was annoying from what was it, The Lost World? It was just the end of the movie, and then even when Jurassic World did it, they kind of only sort of did it a little bit. Even the new one, Rebirth, which has an interesting setup at the start, it quit. The dinosaurs are in our world, and they're starting to die and whatever, and we're just kind of used to them now. But then it moves away, and then all of a sudden you're going back to another island again. And within the short, in terms of the time that's on the running time of these shorts, it's probably less than all of those, but it feels more satisfying in a way because it's that thing. It's not it's not suddenly trying to divert the story away somewhere else. So we're spending some time in a world where they're just trying to get used to the fact that dinosaurs are around. There's like a wildlife. It's basically it's become like a national park kind of thing, and they're just getting used to working with having the dinosaurs around and stuff. So I'm interested to see how they sort of build on this, and I thought it was good. So I think in a way, I think the best thing about the film is the poster, but better than the film. But I think the film was really solid.
It's interesting because you got the this gay couple at the center of it. One of them is sort of one of the park rangers, and the other one is sort of basically saying, "This is a dangerous place. We can't bring it. We can't have our daughter here." But as the film develops, we find out, well, it wouldn't necessarily be a dangerous place if people weren't such assholes. If you weren't such greedy, sort of selfish people, then this would be okay. But you keep endangering us by doing these stupid things. So I'm on the side of the park ranger basically in this one. But there you go.
By the way, one of the fathers in the film is actually an actor from Jurassic World.
That's right. Yeah. So, okay, we don't score the shorts. No, hang on. Before I get there, Nathan, what is your thoughts on Nightfall?
Yes, yeah. I understand now that there was a prequel. I don't know whether I felt a little bit lost on the narrative elements. That might have partly
totally different cast, though.
I see. Okay, that's not the same. Maybe I'm just not. It's a little bit slow then. No, I did enjoy the horror aspect. Definitely, I think it's something that a lot of people are kind of you may be talking about missing perhaps from some of the more recent Jurassic entries. I know there's a film that came out that I just added to my watch list earlier in the year called Primitive War.
I still haven't seen that one. Yeah. It's set during like the Vietnam War, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, from what I'd seen, it looked to be really interesting. It seems to be getting some good reviews in that regard. So this kind of made me excited to check a little bit more out on that. But no, I enjoyed it. I like quite a lot of, unsurprisingly, perhaps, like quite a lot of dinosaur media. So I was definitely there for that. And yeah, I was impressed. They looked very good. The raptors, or they began with the D. I'm afraid I can't remember the name.
But cross between a raptor and a turkey or something.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just in time for Thanksgiving.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, we don't score the shorts, but we do recommend you check them out, and we'll put a link to this in the footnotes below. Go check it out. Okay, so as I said, it is the end of the year. This is our final episode of 2025, and we're going to have a little roundtable about what we liked during the year. In past years, we have sort of looked at the ones we didn't like, but it's Christmas, and I don't really want to wallow too much. I think we've said all that needs to be said about certain films. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to kick off with my number 5, which is Havoc. So no punts. So I'm the only one who's put Havoc on the list. Obviously, this is Gareth Evans' latest film with Tom Hardy, filmed in Wales, set in some unknown city in America during the winter time. It's a Christmas movie, coming to think about it. But there you go. It is shambolic at times. I don't disagree with that. But when it comes to the action, I thought the action was absolutely stonking, and mixing what he did in The Raid and on Gangs of London, he pulls off some really high grade stuff in this one. Okay, Steve, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is The Unholy Trinity.
Ah, good choice. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a big lover of westerns, to be fair, but this I really, really enjoyed it. Really gripped me. Piers Brosnan, Samuel L. Jackson, just ripping it up and having fun. Well, Samuel L. Jackson is definitely. But yeah, I just thought it was really solid, really decent. A lovely story. Well, not lovely, but you know what I mean. And also, sometimes with stuff like this, you get, he's a dodgy sheriff. He's evil. He's done this, done that, and he's not. He's actually a decent guy. And Samuel L. Jackson is just trying to find this gold that he thinks is owed to him.
And just stirring up shit in the meantime, basically.
Well, yeah. Yeah. But no, I wasn't expecting to, and yeah, really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I mean, there've been some other westerns. We had Rust, of course, the Alec Baldwin one, which was, it wasn't bad, but way too long for its own good.
Yeah.
Been a few others, but I agree that the Unholy Trinity definitely stood out. Okay, Rich, what was your number 5?
My number 5 is Fight or Flight with Josh Hartnett and Marco Zaror.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
Marco Zaror.
I should point out. I mean, I've actually got a list of 24 films which I thought could easily, have been in my top 5, and that is certainly one of them, and the Unholy Trinity for another. But yeah, no, good shout. I'm
going to also back up that and say this is essentially quite an arbitrary list. It's like you catch me on a different day, I'd probably give you 5 different films.
That is true.
But I'd say Fight. I'm in an R about the number 5 slot, but yeah, Fight or Flight. I remember it's lively, it's colourful. The action's really good. It's got a brisk running time. It's good fun.
Yeah, and it's a shame that Marco Zaror happened to be the first henchman that he comes across, basically, because he does. He knocks it out of the park. Absolutely. Awesome. And Amanda?
I think I'm going to go with, I didn't put them in an order, but I'll order them now. Red Sonja, the one by...
Red Sonja, yes.
Yeah. Was it MJ Bassett?
MJ Bassett.
Yep. Yes. I know it's a little cheap, but I enjoy the way that MJ Bassett shoots action. It's still really clear. It's a nice update story-wise. I thought Matilda Lutz was badass. I also really like that she's a little bit goofy. I just had a really good time watching it. I think it's miles better than the other one that came out in the 80s.
Oh, the Bridget Nielsen one.
Yeah. I mean, that one's not bad, but this one I think was much better.
Yeah.
Much better take on the character.
I enjoyed this one, and MJ Bassett. I've enjoyed most of her films. I think, like Rogue and Solomon Kane. As well. Yeah, it's really, really good. Awesome. Okay, and Nathan, do you want to chuck in one off your list? Not necessarily DTV, but it's something that is piqued your interest this year?
Yeah. Actually, I'd like to shout out Pillion. I don't know if anyone's heard of this. Recent film came out just in the last couple of months, actually, properly. It was one of the ones at London Film Festival.
What was it
Directed
called?
by Pillion.
Oh,
So
Pillion.
directed by someone called Harry Lighton. But it's sort of I think it's been described as a kind of a dom-com instead of a rom-com, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it's sort of a focus on dominant, submissive homosexual relationship between Alexander Skarsgård and Harry Melling, who I don't know if anyone knows Harry Melling, but
Yeah.
he's most famously known for Dudley in the Harry Potter series, but he's actually the grandson of the second Doctor, I believe. Doctor Who, that is. Yeah, Pillion was, I thought, really fantastic. It certainly sparked a lot of contemplation, I suppose might be the right term. I think it was a really interesting look into that sort of relationship from presumably, sort of a well-informed place, really. And yeah, it kind of jumped around between sort of the tone in a way that sort of ended on quite a melancholic place, which I think left me with a little bit more of an upset reaction. But I sort of I've been thinking about it a lot really recently since I ended up watching it, and it's certainly something that I'd like to revisit, and something I think that is quite tenderly handled, I guess. So yeah, that would be one of my honorable mentions there.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Good cast, and any film which plays three in your head for a while, definitely one to think about. Right, my number 4 is Saint Clair. So this is the one about a young woman who basically has voices in her head sort of telling her to do stuff, and she ends up uncovering a whole sort of sex trafficking ring in her town. Absolutely loved it. Really, really surprised me, that one. Anyone else see it?
The Thorn one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I saw that one.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's great. It looks really great as well. It's like a weird, particularly dreamy feeling over it.
It's really, really good. I mean, there's two scenes in particular which jump out. There's a scene at the beginning when she accepts a lift off this guy, and you're thinking, "Oh my God, why on earth did you get in the car with this shady guy?" And even while she's in the car, she's sort of breaking down all the little idiosyncrasies which are sort of popping out, pointing to the fact that this guy is just one big, huge red flag. But things take a very interesting turn, and there's a scene at the end where she's visited by one of her sort of, not exactly ghosts, but sort of visions, saying it's not quite over yet. And then she sees something, and it realizes who else is behind it, and that was really, really well done for me. Anyway, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that one. It's definitely stuck with me. Amanda, what's yours?
I think I'm gonna go with Beast of War.
Yeah.
Just really loved it. I thought it really worked well within its budget. It's obviously very low budget, but it got really creative with it. I liked the way that it used the shark. I thought the cast were really great. I liked the location. Well, it's not the whole location, but for most of it, just that one tiny little space. But yeah, overall, I just thought it was great. I had a great time with it.
Somebody described it to me this week as, it's like the film version of The Floor is Lava.
Oh yeah.
If you touch the water, then you're basically dead. Within seconds. It was really well done, and I love the the whole prologue bit. So while they're still on their basic training in the outback somewhere, that I thought that was really, really good stuff. Yeah, good shout. Steve, your number 4.
My number 4 is He Kills at Night. This is a pretty recent one, but yeah, it really, really stuck with me, this one.
Oh, good.
I mean, it's basically just a two-hander with two people in a car, but that twist at the end is an absolute killer. It is so good and just so unexpected. Yeah, just really, really, really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed it.
I still haven't seen it. Well, other than the 20 minutes I had seen, but yeah, I definitely do need to finish watching that one. Awesome. And Rich?
Mine is Sunray, Fallen Soldier, which was way back at
Oh
the
yeah,
start of the year.
Mm.
The one about um the special ops guys sort of getting together and trying to help. I think they were sort of putting themselves on a mission to. It was like a revenge mission, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot more to it, and it's a very well made film. Where a shot. I mean, the guys in it are actual experienced, commandos, I believe, Royal Marines commandos, and but the actors as well. And yeah, I thought the performances were really good. It's a deeper film than you expect it's going to be. You think it's going to be kind of straightforward action, but there's a lot more. There's a psychological element. The cinematography and everything's really good. It's definitely a film that I would definitely want to go back and revisit. There's an element of like the 70s sort of, or late 60s, 70s sort of nihilism kind of in there, and yeah, it's definitely stands out. There's a little bit of the British gangster movie kind of feel to it as well. It sort of plays to that a little bit, but yeah, it was quite a unique action psychological thriller kind of film. Yeah, definitely worth seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the level of action in there is akin to something like the Veteran, or with Toby Kebbell. It's that style. You can tell that they've been properly drilled by proper military people. In order to sort of pull it off. It looks really, really good. And one of the other things about that as well is how calm everyone is in a firefight. No one's yelling or anything. There's no histrionics. It's just like professional people getting on with their job, and it's very refreshing for that, I find. Yeah. Okay. And Nathan, a honorable mention from you?
Yes, yeah. Again, I apologize. Nothing direct to video, but something that came to mind is A24's Bring Her Back, which came out earlier this year.
Love
that was really good.
Really impressed by this. There was a lot of talk at the time because it came out around the same point as Weapons, which I know everyone was quite excited for. I didn't really necessarily, it didn't quite gel with me, but Bring Her Back really, really impressed me. I think it's next effort from Raka Raka, the originally YouTubers who worked on Talk to Me.
Yep.
Which I thought Talk to Me was good, but I think sort of similar to Rian Johnson, I guess I was really impressed by how they kind of improved their craft on Bring Her Back. It really felt like an update in terms of, gnarly, uncomfortable sequences. I suppose if you guys have seen it, I can say, kitchen knife, and that's probably all you need to know.
Yeah.
But just emotionally moving as well. I found myself close to tears by the end of it. I was very surprised to have been brought to care about the characters as much as I did, and I think that it's partly on the performances, but it's also partly on the writing. And I think it was just a really sort of shocking and upsetting, but really well made horror film there.
Yeah. So the film itself is set during the 80s, I believe, which is why they're using a VHS tape. But the VHS tape in itself is the most insidious part of the film for me, because it speaks volumes about how damaged she was and how desperate she was. That if somebody went, well, there may be a way, and she's like, yeah, show me how and damn the cost. It's crazy the fact that there's this cottage industry of people putting these self-help tapes for demonic possession and all the rest of it out there. That really, that's the bit that freaked me, let alone what actually happens around the house. But
anyway. This whole extra story about what they're doing in their crazy sort of cult area.
There's a really good film I like. There's a Spanish film called The Nameless, which is based on a Ramsey Campbell novel, and it sort of goes into that sort of area as well. Cool. All right. Now, it wouldn't be a DTV without a bit of Scott Adkins. So my number 3 is Diablo.
I'll have to punt on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yay! I thought awesome. I'm
Well-
glad. Kind of glad. Right. In that case, let's skip over to Steve for your number 3.
Well, my number 3 is Diablo as well.
Okay.
I'm going to have to punt on that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Amanda?
Yeah, mine was Diablo as well.
Okay, and Rich, your number 3 then.
Mine is The Invisible Raptor, which I thought was
Oh,
great.
yeah.
I thought it was such a fun concept, and I just thought it worked really well. The cast are really charming. There's some nice sort of comedy horror moments, and that I just thought it was really a lot of fun. And we had a little Sean Astin cameo in there and stuff as well.
I remember this one, and I remember opinions were definitely split.
Yes, they were definitely split, but I loved it.
Yeah. The thing is, on a different day, I probably would have liked it. You know, maybe it caught me at the wrong time, and I think it was the characters. It was the characters of Sean Astin and whoever else was in the lab with him. They were just such horrific people. It's like, oh God. But anyway, no, good. I'm glad it got some love.
Well, I was just thinking, it's like a one joke concept, and they managed to stretch it out to nearly 2 hours, and were pretty successsul at it for the most part. I mean, it should have been shorter, should have been an hour and 20 minutes, but as it was, I just thought the cast were great, and I thought it was really well made.
Okay then. And Nathan, honorable mention from you.
Yes, yeah. I suppose focusing on similar kind of horror vein, perhaps. And again, as well, something I suppose that came out at the same time that really impressed me was the adaptation of The Long Walk.
Oh yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
Again, just I suppose maybe my expectations are a bit lower because the premise itself is inherently a little silly, perhaps, but it's not necessarily the premise itself that kind of pulls you in. It's 100% for me anyway. It was the character work. I just was so endeared towards these characters who are taking part in the Long Walk that it hurt quite a bit every time one of them was killed. And there's just sort of a sense of this sort of camaraderie between them. And yeah, again, close to tears by that point, but it was just a real surprise, a real shock to me that I wasn't expecting it to be quite so quite so moving, and although of course it had to be moving constantly, I suppose, but really good.
Awesome. Yeah, I
Well,
still haven't seen it. Yeah.
Sorry, that's one of the great successes of the film is that whereas Stephen King's done the same idea in something like The Running Man, but that's a completely different approach, whereas this one is you're literally with them on the walk the whole time.
Yes,
we're not cutting away to other things happening or anything. We're just going to stay with them. It's a very simple concept, and you've just got to you've just got to try and stay with a group of characters in a moving, it's changing locations, but you're essentially just moving with them, and you've got to keep the audience engaged for that whole couple of hours. And there's some really intense, but I mean, it's not a horror movie in the standard sense, but there's some really horrific moments in it. So it's not going to be for everyone. But the character work and everything is all really good, and it doesn't end the way you expect. And it's got a very they never really stress when it's set, but it's clearly supposed to be set in like an alternate sort of maybe like late 1960s, sort of early to mid 1970s sort of period, I guess. From the environment that they're in, and the cameras that they show being pointed at them and stuff. But it's kind of feels like an alternate reality kind of tale. So yeah, it's really good, really great, really good film.
Awesome. Okay, so on to number 2s, and mine is A Desert. So this is one that me and Will covered a few episodes back. It's about a guy who's a professional photographer who goes out in the desert to take photos of sort of the desolate landscape. There's lots of derelict buildings and things that he's going into and taking photos, and he ends up crossing paths with this kind of psycho couple, and things are kind of fine to begin with, but then something really horrific happens, and then the narrative has to cut to a different set of characters looking for the first guy, and sort of taking us through, almost like retracing his steps. But it is absolutely brilliant. Really good cinematography, and a stonking soundtrack to go with it. It was really, really good, really special. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So, Steve, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Bone Lake.
Yeah, that was fun.
I just thought it was a very decent, grown-up horror movie, really. Not one of these silly slashers that are just, people dying all over the place. I thought it actually got into quite a lot of, say, adult themes, grown-up themes and stuff like that, and decent twist at the end, and a little bit of gore at the end, not too over the top, but apart from the opening 2 minutes,
crossbreak to the nuts. Yeah.
But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I'd heard good things about it earlier on in the year, and I'm glad it actually lived up to expectations once.
It was very good.
Nathan, you caught this with us when we were at Mayhem Festival. What did you think of it?
That's right. Yeah, I quite liked Bone Lake. I think it was a nice surge of energy for where it was placed in the day. Actually, I think, like you're saying, it's sort of nice to have that kind of, sort of, I suppose, simple slasher formula in a way, but kind of giving it that kind of twist. And I do remember appreciating that sort of the twisting loyalty, I guess, would be what sticks out to me. I remember sort of not knowing who. Yeah, exactly. Not knowing who to trust or who was trusting who, and sort of trying to follow along and hope that the people who you like, because they were quite likable characters, and of course very proactive as well, which is appreciated. But yeah, no, I enjoyed that one. I thought it was good fun.
Awesome. Rich, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Prisoner of War.
Okay, the other Scott Adkins film.
Well, Scott Adkins had a good year.
So
this one was directed by Louis Mandylor, and I thought it was probably the best film that I've seen that he's directed. Very well known as an actor, but he's establishing himself as a director. We've seen a few of his, but I think this one was, quite ambitious in its, period sort of setting, and shot in jungle locations and whatever. Or at least they made it very authentic looking. And Scott Adkins is a downed pilot who's sort of taken, taken prisoner, as the title indicates, and it's basically a fight film from that point onwards. But there's so much action in it right from the jump. So it was top class Scott Adkins work basically. So yeah, it was and you can't, you don't get any better than Scott Adkins. So.
I was a bit worried going into this for 2 things. One was I thought it might be just a straightforward sort of blood sport kind of scenario. Once he's been captured, it's like, well, you will fight this guy and this guy, and then this guy who was tougher than all of them. But it doesn't play out like that. And the other one was Louis Mandylor, because I haven't exactly been impressed by his previous directorial efforts, but as you say, Rich, this is a huge step up for him. Maybe it's because he had more time, maybe because he had different influences keeping him on the straight and narrow. Who knows? But there is a proper sort of escape element to this. It's not just fighting in the ring kind of thing. There is more to it. And yeah, it is a proper sort of war movie at the end of the day with some decent fighting. So yeah, good one. Amanda, your number 2?
I'm going to go with She Rides Shotgun, which I think was just dumped on Amazon like a couple of weeks ago or something.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it yet, but I'm really interested to see it because I'm reading.
It's gorgeous. It's got it's basically a crime story, very like a kind of Western feel. Karen Edgerton's great. John Carroll Lynch. She's not in it much, but he's great. But it's a little girl. What's her name? Anna Sophia Hager. She's she's brilliant in it. She's probably one of the best child actress performances that I've seen recently. She's her and Taron Egerton have this kind of weird. They're supposed to be father and daughter, but he's clearly not seen her in a while. So they have this kind of almost raw bond that's they're trying to kind of come together and get to know each other while this other story of him trying to get away from these people in prison is happening, and it's really well paced as well. It doesn't bog down in too much stuff, like too much emotional stuff. You get enough of it to get to know the characters, and the final shot in the film is it's heartbreaking. I don't want to go into it too much if you've seen it.
No, I really want to see it.
It's brilliant.
It's based on a book by a guy called Jordan Harper, and I'm currently reading one of his other books because this particular one isn't available on Kindle at the moment. But he is a really good writer, and so I'm really interested in seeing this when I get the chance. Okay, and honorable mention from Nathan.
Yes, yeah, nice and easy. I think second, I'm leaving my favorite for my first, but the second probably would just be Wake Up Dead Man, actually. So
okay, enough said.
Yeah,
we can move on. Okay, all right. My number one then is Escape to the 21st Century.
I knew this was coming. Absolutely knew it. If you weren't going to mention this film, I was going to say, hang on, Mike.
Yeah, have you forgotten about this?
This was your favourite film of the year, months ago.
Absolutely. Well, during the first half of the year. And I think it's probably the film I've given the highest mark to of the year. So I gave this a 9 at the time. It is just brilliant. It's about these 3 friends who, through swimming through some toxic waste, end up with the ability to travel through time. And end up in their adult bodies and sort of 25 years in the future, and seeing how things are messed up, and then jumping back in time and trying to fix everything. It's just absolutely brilliant. It's the modern day equivalent of watching Trainspotting in terms of the way it's visually and orally constructed. It has this real sort of punk vibe to it, to the way it's done. Absolutely brilliant film. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So that is my number one. So Rich, I think we all know what this is going to be.
It is, of course, Diablo.
Yeah,
with Scott Adkins and Marco Zaror.
Absolutely.
But I'll let you guys talk about it first.
Let's jump over to Amanda then first for this one.
I was sort of stuck between that and Prisoner of War. I didn't want to overload with Scott Adkins. But this might be my favourite Marco Zaror performance ever. Good for him for walking on the set with that haircut.
Yeah.
It just feels like he's from a totally different thing. He's like a weird Terminator. And Scott's really great in it as well, actually. I think he bounced off the girl that played the kidnapped girl.
Yeah.
Really well. And I did quite like her. I enjoyed that she told everybody, fuck off, constantly. As expected, the fights are great. I think seeing Adkins and Zaror is always a real treat. You're getting good stuff when they come together.
It's interesting as well because even from the trailer, I knew this was going to be a lot of work for Scott, because a lot of his previous films, he'd been more of a sort of brawler, sort of just using his fists for a lot of it. And all of a sudden, you see in the trailer, you see him doing spin kicks and head kicks and all, flying kicks and everything. I'm thinking, yeah, the director's really making him work for this one.
Yeah.
And then there's that run up the that ramp thing, the mine shaft. I mean, that must have been knackering. I don't know if you need a stunt double just to do that. I certainly would. But it is an absolutely great one. Steve, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I just agree with what everyone else just said. I mean, I wasn't expecting much. I think, was it the same week we did Prisoner of War?
Yes, yeah.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. And to me, this is definitely the better of the two. It's just quick, in and out, all action. Because I think it's 90 minutes, and to me that's just perfect. To me, that's my issue with a lot of films nowadays is they're too long. You could easily trim them by 20, 30 minutes, some of them, and this just goes hell for leather. And the fight scene in, is it a bar or a restaurant?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was just absolutely cracking, phenomenal. But it has got the heart as well. Than just, let's just kick shit out of everyone for the sake of it. And yeah, it's probably my favourite Scott Adkins film as well.
Oh, cool. Nathan, did you get a chance to see this one yet?
I haven't, no, but I've actually added both this and Escape to the 21st Century to my list to watch. So
that's good to know. Awesome. Who haven't we done for the number ones?
Me?
Well, I haven't had my say on Diablo.
Oh,
yet.
you haven't had your say on Diablo. Okay, your say on Diablo.
No, I was just gonna add, some, a Scott Adkins movie on its own is usually a great thing, but if you've got a really good villain for him to go up against, that's what, a lot of action movies, if you've got a fantastic villain, that makes such a difference. And this was Marco Zaror's film. It's more of a Marco Zaror film than it is a Scott Adkins film, because it's kind of, I think, Zaror did the script and worked with, he's worked with the director a million times, very much a pair of collaborators, and Scott's kind of come into their process, as it were, as like a tool for them to use.
Because the same director as Fist of the Condor.
Yeah, I think they've done quite a few projects together, and they've grown up sort of in the industry together, developing their skills, and this is their most, the biggest production they've done, and it's been very well received by everyone, I think, and Marco Zaror's the diversity that he's able to portray. He came along, sort of broke out into Hollywood in the usual sort of heavy role. He turned up in Machete Kills and Kill Bill. Sorry, not Kill Bill. John Wick, Chapter 4, and obviously he's done things like Savage Dog, and that was Scott before. But he's created a real character here, and the film sort of keeps you in. It's a standard Scott has to rescue the child or girl or whatever story, but the added sort of he's a really twisted psycho kind of element, and on top of that, you've also got the father of the girl, because it's Scott Adkins's daughter, but she's actually been raised by another man. Who's a very doting father, but he's actually a terrible human being. And so there's some really interesting sort of dynamics with that going on, and that. So yeah, I thought it was a real really good year for Adkins, because he's had a few rough films in the last few years, and like you say, he's not as young as he used to be. He's still not old, but it's harder for when you get to sort of into the 40s and that to do some of those moves, and he really put the work in on this and Prisoner of War lately, so he can still do it. So
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you follow him on Facebook as well, he does sort of put a lot of stuff on there. His training videos and things like that, and behind the scenes, he's definitely worth sort of following if you're into that sort of thing. Steve, have we come to you for your number one?
No, not yet.
Your number one.
It's oh god, my mind's gone. It's Wake Up Dead Man.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so we've talked at length about that this episode already.
I thought you were going to say Frankie Frico.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
We're not. Look, Rich, we said we're not doing the worst of the year.
Ice Cube's War of the Worlds, perhaps.
War of the Worlds.
You see, our Spidey sentence went off on that one, Nathan, and none of us touched it with a barge pole.
I watched 20 minutes of it.
I endured the whole thing.
Oh, tell us, Nathan. Tell us.
It was a great advert for Amazon drones. I can say that much.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Right, Nathan, your honourable mention for your number one spot.
Yes, from worst to best, perhaps. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. I don't know if anybody's got a chance.
Nathan, we said the best of the year, not the worst.
Don't talk to me. I'm a big Paul Thomas Anderson fan, so it's maybe subjective perhaps, but I really enjoyed it. I thought, he's kind of perfected his craft for me in terms of especially longer films. It really just, I felt it flew by in terms of the time and that sort of rising tension and the rising sort of adventure, I guess would be the way to put it. And
Christmas adventure.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes. Well, yes, exactly. Fitting for the time, perhaps. But no, yeah. I think it was just. It's helmed by its performances as well, isn't it? I guess Leonardo DiCaprio, still bringing out brilliant ones, and yeah, I suppose mixed with Paul Thomas Anderson's filmmaking capabilities, I just could not have a great time with it. But
Right. Okay.
were you not a fan, Mike? Or
so I haven't seen much of Paul Thomas Anderson, and this is the only one I've actually seen in cinemas. There's a lot of it I did like, I have to say. The end sequences I thought were pretty good, but the soundtrack, but basically you had two different kinds of jazz playing. You had this sort of I don't know, what do you call it? It's sort of not ad hoc, but not
sort of improvisational.
Improv. Yeah, so you got the improv jazz, which basically undercut any tension that existed in the scene at the time. I thought that was awful. Then you had the sort of funky jazz with the heavy bass tone. That was really good, and that fit the scenes that was being shown in. So I found the film quite sort of schizophrenic. Some things I liked in it. I wasn't that impressed with Leonardo DiCaprio's character, not so much his acting, just the character. Just thought he was just a loser completely, from start to finish. And just things like that just annoyed me. But, other characters are much better. And Sean Penn can go fuck himself. But, there you go. I don't know if anyone...
Whoa. You need to unpack that a bit. What's up with the Sean Penn? I thought Sean Penn was one of the best things about it.
You did? I thought he was wearing a rubber mask the whole film.
Prosthetic makeup and stuff. I thought he was pretty good. Interesting. I like the whole Christmas adventure as part of it. That was the only bit I really.
Oh, that bit. Yeah, that bit was kind of interesting, but weird. I don't know. I'm old, basically. I'm just like hip to this new jive, man. But no, it just didn't really sort of grab me. Both me and my dad came out of the cinema just a bit perplexed as to why everyone was going nuts over this film. But there you go. Some people get it, some people don't.
I was a bit perplexed why it needed to be seen in IMAX, because I watched it in IMAX and I thought I could have watched it in a regular screening and it would have been fine. But anyway, let's stay positive, people. This is Nathan's favourite film of the year.
Yeah, so, well, I'm not going to rain on you.
It's his favourite. Let's not rain on the parade.
I'm not going to rain on your parade. Don't worry. Okay. Anyway, so there we have our roundup of the year. Some good films. So if you haven't seen them, we do recommend you go and check them out. They're all available on DVD or streaming, probably somewhere. But definitely worth going and searching for them. Okay, and that is the end of this week's show. So thanks, guys, for joining me on this Christmas Eve. And as I said, it is the last show of the year, and onwards and upwards for 2026. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter, and on X and Blue Sky at the DTV Digest, where we put loads of stuff about sort of new releases and top fives and all the rest of it. Thank you for listening. Tune in next time.
Thank you for listening to the DTV Digest. Let us know your thoughts in the comments and tune in again next time.